On Sunday, July 3rd, 2022, the Sri Vidya Temple in Rochester, New York will be conducting the Sakala Dosha Nivarana Rashi Mandala Puja. This unique and exclusive puja invokes the blessings of the Divine Mother to grant us relief from the ill effects of planets, especially Shani, Rahu and Ketu. The Rashi Mandala depicts the 12 Rashis or zodiac signs as sectors in the center of the mandala and the 27 Nakshatras or principal constellations on the periphery. During the puja, the 9 planetary deities are worshipped in their respective positions on that day, along with their corresponding dhanyams or grains. Seen here in red is Surya in the Mithuna Rasi, Arudra 4th. Seen here in pearl white is Chandra in the Simha Rasi, Magha 3rd. Seen here in orange is Mangala, Mesha Rasi, Ashwini 2nd. Seen in green is Buddha, Mithuna Rasi, Mrigashirsha 3rd. Seen here in yellow is Guru, Meena Rashi, Uttara Bhadrapada 4th. Seen in white is Shukra, Rishabha Rasi, Rohini 3rd. Seen in Oxford blue is Shanishwara in the Kumbha Rasi, Dhanishta 3rd. Seen in blue is Rahu, Mesha Rasi, Bharani 4th. Seen in pink is Ketu, Tula Rasi, Vishakha 2nd. All are welcome to participate in this puja in person or remotely. The following sponsorships are also available: Ashtalakshmi coin and Akshata sponsorship, Blessed Thread sponsorship, coin and salt sponsorship, Grand sponsorship, Nakshatra Kalasa Tito sponsorship, Navagraha Yantra sponsorship, and Spatikamala sponsorship. For more information, please visit srividya.org/Rashi2022 or call 585-533-1970. On Sunday, July
Sri Gurupyo Namaha. Welcome back to our Sacred Rites and Rituals of Sanātana Dharma learning series, which is a joint presentation by the Sri Vidya Temple Society in Rochester, New York, and Ashtanga Yoga Mandir in Sri Lanka. These lectures are conducted by Sri Chaitanyanandanada Saraswati, affectionately known as Ayya. Ayya is the founder and Peethadipati of the Sri Vidya Temple in Rochester, New York. Both Ayya and Amma Srimati Jnanamba have dedicated their lives to the noble mission of preserving and spreading the knowledge of Devi worship and the rich traditions of Saiva Bhakti. This year, Sri Vidya Temple will be celebrating Varahi Navaratri from June 29th to July 7th. Daily Homam and Abhishekam will be performed each day starting at 4 p.m. Eastern. The Sri Vidya Temple welcomes all to join us as we celebrate Sri Rajarajeswari Peetham's 24th anniversary in the annual Alankara Utsavam. This is taking place this year from July 1st to 4th. And homams and pujas will happen for Sri Mahaganapati, Sri Rajarajeswari, and Sri Dattatreya. On Sunday, July 3rd, which will be the final day of the Alankara Utsavam, we'll also be performing the Sakala Dosha Nivarana Rashi Mandala Puja. For those in today's session, Ayya will go into more detail about this Rashi Mandala Puja and how we can participate during this puja. So for those interested in viewing content shared during the sessions, we have all of the sessions available at srividya.org/AYM lectures. At this time, we will hand it over to Ayya.
Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hamsasya Soham Hamsaha Hasakafrem Hasakshamaravarayum Hasaum Sahakshamaravarayim Sahau Swarupani Hetave Swagurave Sri Annapurnambika Samedha Srila Sri Chait Amritanandanada Saraswati Mahapattaraka Mama Sri Guru Sri Padukam Pujayami Tarpajami Namaha. My humble pranams to my esteemed Guruji, Srila Sri Amritanandanada Saraswati of Devipuram, India. I prostrate before him and implore that he speak through me from my open lotus, heart lotus. Over the last week, we have looked at the Rashi Mandala Puja, interrupting the Panchavimsadi Murti Dhyanam, the various forms, 25 forms of Shiva. The regular sessions will continue after the regular festival season is over. So today, like last time, we will be talking about the Rashi Mandalam and recap things that were said about the relationship between a Sri Yantram and Rashi Mandalam. The Nitya Shodasikar Navam, one of the cardinal texts of the Sri Vidya Upasakas, says, Ganesha Graha Nakshatra Yoginim Rasi Rubinim Devim Mantramayim Naumim Matrika Peter Rubinim. Ganesha Graha Nakshatra Yoginim Rasi Rubinim. The mother's form in Sri Vidya, the most important form that is worshipped is the Sri Yantra that you see portrayed on the left side. This Yantra, first of all, contains a square. with 4 openings or dwarams or amnayas. The eastern entrance or amnaya is called Purva Dwaram. Southern entrance is called Dakshina Dwaram. Western entrance is called Paschima Dwaram. Northern entrance is called Uttara Dwaram. There are 28 different deities in this Avaranam, the layer. Now, inside this enclosure are the valayams, or called kanganams, concentric circles. In this, some traditions have puja for them, like the Dakshinamurti Madam, and some traditions do not. Ours do not have a puja for that. Then you have the 16-petal lotus, the 8-petal lotus, the 14 triangles, the outer 10 triangles, inner 10 triangles, the 8 triangles, and the final triangle and the Bindusthana. Now, leaving intact the Chaturasram or Trailokya Mohana Chakram, the square, what we have attempted to do and have succeeded in doing it for the last 5 years is, because the sloka says Ganesha Graha Nakshatra Yoginim Rasi Rupanim, that means all these forms are in the Devi. So we have removed from the circles outside, from the Kanganam, and replaced that with the Rashi Mandalam. If we can go to the next slide, please. The Rashi Mandalam also has the same entrances, and you will see the Rashi Mandalam inside, which effectively forms the body of the Devi. Now, in the diagram that you see there, if we can play only the Rashi Mandalam so that it can be enlarged a little bit so they can see it. The first 2 circles define the Rashi Mandalam, the 12 signs of the zodiac. 360 degrees makes a circle, and divisions, 12 divisions make it 30 degrees each for each Rashi. And the second 2 circles, from the second circle to the third circle, the area of many colors is the Nakshatra Mandalam. And what you can't see very clearly because the diagram is small, there is another circle inside which defines the lords of each nakshatra. The lords from the Navagraha Mandalam that influence the characteristics of the particular nakshatra chosen. Now, Ganesha Graha Nakshatra Yoginim Rasi Rupanim Devim Mantramayim, 700 million mantras also comprise of the Devi's energy. All the mantras, regardless of what deity it is, they contain the mother's energy. She is, in other words, the life force, the life-giving force of the mantras. In other words, the power of the mantras is the power of the mother. Now, Mantramayim, then Yoginim. There are 64 crore yoginis and ganas worshipping the mother in the Sri Yantra. Maha Sadushashti Koti Yogini Ganasevita. Those also, all of them, their life force and the power that they derive comes from the mother. So it is very appropriate, we thought, to help people who are not fortunate enough to receive the mantras of Sri Vidya, which in itself is quite rare, or people who have received the mantras but have not completed their purashcharanams, who can be buffeted in their lives by the planets and the Nakshatras, we thought we would produce this puja so that they can be helped and help them mitigate the hold of the planets and the constellations that have on their times of birth. Remember, the planets and the constellations have been appointed by the Devi to mitigate your praradva karma. In thousands and thousands of births, what you have brought onto this planet, into this plane, is called praradva karma. To mitigate that and to work those out, the planets have been appointed. So it goes without saying, in a 365-day year, some people born in different rasis under different constellations can experience negative or extremely negative or extremely positive or neutral times in their lives. To mitigate this, the Rashi Mandala Puja was conceived in the Rajarajeswari Devi, and it has been successfully carried out for 5 years. Now, when the Rashi Mandala Puja is performed, first of all, this Rashi Mandalam that is there in the temple in Rochester, New York, is 35 feet square. It is a yantra, and it is not small, and it cannot be accommodated in our present temple, which is only 45 feet wide. This mantra, this yantra itself is 35 feet square, and we won't be able to accommodate everyone inside the temple. Therefore, it has to be placed under a special tent. The Rashi Mandala is held aloft by 8 directional elephants, beginning with Indra. Indra's elephant, Airavada, and going in a clockwise direction, all the 8 elephants, their spouses, the children, and their retinue will be there. You see the names of those elephants. I won't waste your time reading them. You can read them yourself. And by the way, all these slides are available to you to download. If you have questions and if you have doubts, not absorbing what you have seen in the few minutes that the slide is up on the screen, you can download it and look at it at your own leisure. So the first puja will be performed to these elephants. Because the yantra is so big, it is physically impossible to do the puja from outside it. You have to mount the yantra to do it from inside. And now comes the complication. You have to be purified enough to be able to mount the yantra and walk on it. Therefore, the first puja, going from outside towards inside, towards the center, the first one is the Gaja Puja, or the puja to the directional elephants. The second puja will be Dwara Puja. In the east, Rigveda and Pratyangara Devi are present. In the southern entrance, Sulini Durga Devi and Yajurveda are present. In the western entrance, Sudarshana and Sudarshana Narasimha along with Samaveda are present. In the northern entrance, Sarabeshwara and Adarvana Veda are present. So they will be chanted. And in our temple, the rubric that is followed is Tantra Marka Purushottamam Dharmini Sagida Yajamanam Jabadhyana Aradhanam Nitya Yajanam Adhikaram. Adhikaram is authority. So it tells you who is given permission, who is given the authority to perform this puja. And we have let it be known that Sreshta Sri Vidya Upasakas. What does that mean? Senior Sri Vidya Upasakas who have been initiated in any mantra above Panchadasakshari and have practiced for at least 5 years is authorized to do the puja. And it says, Dharmini Sakida Yajamanam, in the company of his wife or of his spouse. So, what happens, you may ask, if a person is not married? Then that person's Kula Kundalini is his companion. He can still perform the puja. So after the entrance, after the elephants, the entrances are worshipped. And in the next slide, you will see the next layer that needs to be worshipped. In the square, in the four corners, if you know that the yantra is oriented facing the west, facing the east. In the southwest is Ganapati. Nairudecha Ganechanam. In the northeast is Vishnu. Suryam is northwest is Surya. Suryam Vayava Evacha. Ishanye Vishnuhu. In the northeast is Vishnu. Agneye Sivam Prabhujayet. In the southeast is Shiva and Devi is in the center. So these are called Chaturayana Devatas, and a couple each will be performing the pujas to these couples. And you will notice in the photographs that you see here, there are kalashas that have been established in front of each of these deities. Those also will be available among others for sponsorship later on. In the next layer, as you will see, the directional deities are going to be worshipped. You will notice that we are gradually moving ourselves towards the center of the mandalam. In the east is Indra, southeast is Agni, south is Yama, southwest is Nairadi, west is Varuna, northwest is Vayu, north is Kubera and Soma, northeast is Ishanya, above the mandala is Brahma, below the mandala is Vishnu. All of them will be worshipped again with a pair of devotees, husband and wife, sitting there and worshipping them. Pujas will be done to them. And these Digdevatas also have murtis. If we can kindly enlarge one of the Digdevatas, so I can show them the murtis there. There are 28 total murtis in this mandalam. And out of them, 10 of them belong to the Digdevatas. And I dare say not many temples in this part of the world possess them. These are 18-inch high Panchaloka bronze vigrahams that have been specially commissioned and built for the temple. So those will be worshipped. And you will notice that by the side of each of the devatas, there is a kalasam. Later on, when we come to the sponsorships, those will be available for sponsorship too. Now, once this is done, the next layer is the Rashi Mandalam, the 12 Rasis, beginning with Mesha, going clockwise, Rishabha, Mithuna, Kataka, Simha, Kanya, Tula, Vrichika, Dhanasu, Makara, Kumbha, and Meena. All of those will be worshipped. That means 12 couples will be seated worshipping it. Now, you have guessed it. The reason why so many people are involved, one, it is not practical for one person or one couple to do all these pujas. They will get exhausted. To set up this mandala itself takes an army of volunteers nearly 12 hours of relentless work. So, plus the many different people that get an opportunity to do the puja, you will notice that their involvement is greater. The anticipation of going into the mandalam to do the puja, they are eagerly awaiting it. So their attention will be riveted to the mandalam. That's the second advantage. And many of the upasakas, the senior upasakas, they will get a chance to perform the puja, and they have performed the equivalent of a Navagrahas puja once they finish this. So the Rasis are now worshipped. Mesha Rasi, Vrishabha Rasi, Mithuna Rasi, Kataka Rasi, Simha Rasi, Kanya Rasi, Tula Rasi, Vrichika Rasi, Dhanu Rasi, Makar Rasi, Kumbha Rasi, and Meena Rasi. So this now, the preliminary pujas for the Rashi Mandala Puja are now complete after the Rasi Pujas. The next sequence, Navagraha Pujas are now going to be performed. The Navagrahas, on the 3rd of July, it is an interesting fact that Shaneshwara, Guru or Jupiter, Saneshwara or Saturn, Guru or Jupiter, Mangala or Mars, Savvai, Shukra or Valli or Venus, Buddha or Mercury or Buddhan. All of these, 5 of them are in their own houses. They are all of them are in a ruling condition. That means their power is maximized on that particular day. Some astrologers will tell you that it does not bode well for the rest of the world, that some portion of some countries or the leaders of some countries will be hell-bent on trying to wage war or occupy another country. Think about it for a moment. The present situation, you will understand something like this has been predicted 5,000 years ago by the Rishis. How did they know what is going to happen in 2022? So it should tell you that they had the ability to project their consciousness far into the future, that we still have not discovered that particular technique. Anyway, the planetary positions, each planet will be worshipped by a couple, and for the planets too. Ati Devada, Pratyadi Devada, Pattini, Putra, Parivara, Ayuda, Vahana, Danya, Mandala, Ratna Samedam. I will be quickly explaining to you later on why all of them have kalasas. If you can enlarge at least one of the deities, then maybe the people who are listening will be able to understand it more. You will see a murti there, which is 18 inches long, 18 inches tall, and next to it is a kalasam, properly constituted, and in front of it, there is that particular grain that is used for that, the dhanyam, that will be there, and the gemstone associated with it. And all of these are arranged in a stand. And avahanam, installation, is done to the kalasam with the appropriate mantras for that particular planet by the couple. Now, if they are able to do japam like the requirement states, Dharmini Sakita Yajamanam, Japam, Dhyanam, Aradhanam. Japam is mantra japam, Dhyanam is introspection, Aradhanam is puja, Nitya Yajanam is every day they should be doing this. Only then the authority is given for that couple to be able to perform this puja. Otherwise, what will happen if they are not prepared? When you do japam, the Chit Shakti, the power. Now you can see one of the planets and you can see the arrangement in front of it. I believe this is Mangala. You see the green coconut sitting on top of the kalasam, which is unusual. I'm sure most of the people from Jaffna who are listening to this, Jaffna Tamils, are wondering why we have used a coconut with the husk still on. This is the correct way of installing a kalasam. We have gotten used to the husk being removed, and in America, you cannot even see the kurcham. That top portion is missing. This is the most appropriate way of doing it. As you go further north from Belgaum in India, this is the format that you will see. Especially in states like Bengal, they use this almost every day. Anyway, each of them, when you are doing the japam, the primordial force that lies coiled at the base of your body and in and around the coccygeal plexus will begin to move upwards through urdhvaredas. That means it starts to move upwards through the neural canal, and as it passes certain important junctions where the nerves come together, coccygeal plexus, then after that it will come up to a place where the genitals are located. It will come to there, and then it will go up to an area behind the sacrum. There are 8 of these backbones, part of the backbones that are fused together to protect the kidneys. It will go there and then go up to the heart lotus. It will go up to the cardiac plexus. When you do the japam, especially something that is like Panchadasakshari, it will take it up, it will take the power up above the Anahata Chakaram. If you have the capability and the concentration and the application of your will to do continuous japam, it will stay above the Anahata Chakaram. If it does that, the Nakshatras and the Navagrahas will come and do namaskaram to you and keep going. You are now in control, not them. That is why we insist that senior Sri Vidya Upasakas who have been doing the Upasana for a few years with all seriousness are the ones who are going to do the puja. What happens if somebody does the puja and the energy is below the Anahata Chakram, let us say Manipura Chakram? What happens? Those, hopefully, hundreds of people who will sponsor the pujas with doshas in their jatakams or in their horoscopes with shortcomings, that shortcoming will come to you. You will absorb it. And unless you know the technique of burning it, either with an internal homam or an external homam, you will suffer the consequences. This is one reason that we insist that it has to be senior Sri Vidya Upasakas. Sri Vidya initiation itself is rare, and people who have achieved that status where it has passed the Vishnu Granthi, Brahma Granthi, Vishnu Granthi, above that are the people who are capable of doing this puja. Now, 9 such couples will be seated there performing the puja to the Navagrahas. The next layer are the Nakshatras. You will notice that people who are initiated, who are not initiated, people who have never heard of Sri Vidya, people who have never heard of the Rashi, people who have never heard of Sri Chakra, lots of them will be among the sponsors. Most of them will call the temple and say, I am so and so, this is my Rashi. If you ask them what Nakshatra, they will tell you. Very few of them will even know whether they are in the first padam, second padam, third padam or fourth padam. If they know that, good. If they don't, we can generally apply the kalasam to that particular nakshatram, and the effect still will be there. You can see the list of nakshatras here, 27 of them. Kalasams will be there. Sometimes the affected nakshatras, for instance, Kumbha Rasi, In Kumbham, Satayam is there. Satatarika Nakshatra. All 4 padams. Then Dhanishta Nakshatra, 3 and 4 are there. And the first 3 padams of Uttarabhadra Pada. No. Bhadrapada. The Puratadi, Purva Bhadrapada. Puratadi Nakshatram, 1, 2, 3 will be there. These people will be experiencing excruciating effect of Saturn, which will be slightly mitigated because he is now sitting in his own house. So he will not oppress you so much, but you will still feel the negative energy there. And if you happen to be born in Kataka Rasi, Punarvasu, last padam, 4th padam, Aslesha, Ailyam, all 4 padams, and Pusa Nakshatram, all 4 padams, you are now said to be experiencing Ashtama Shani. If you are in Kumbha Rasi, you are in the middle of your 7.5 year friendship with Saturn. But if you are born in Kataka Rasi, Saturn is in your 8th house. And what he will give you in 7.5 years, he will concentrate very kindly and give it to you in 30 months. So the intense feeling, you will feel that with intensity. For those people, this Rashi Mandala Puja will help a lot. So you will notice that these affected nakshatras, the kalasams are numerous. And we can only accommodate what can be accommodated within that 35-foot square. If the sponsorship goes beyond that, we won't be able to help. So make sure that you call or you contact the temple through the internet and make your booking so that you can have the kalasam and you can have the Kalasa Amardam. I will come to that shortly. The next one will be the Nakshatras. And the Nakshatra Puja will be done again by different people. Maybe we will give 3 Nakshatras to a couple. So 9 couples will sit and do the puja. Otherwise, you notice that each person or each couple ascending the mandalam and then getting down from the mandalam. The people who have done it, they have to get down. New people have to climb up. If it takes 5 minutes, multiply it by 27, you will know how many minutes it takes before they can sit and do the puja. So for convenience sake, we would do that. Now, all of these have kalasams. The Digdevatas have kalasams, Chaturayana Devatas have kalasams, the Nakshatra Devatas have kalasams, Rashi Mandalam has kalasams, and also the Navagrahas have kalasams. Look at this. This is one of the Navagrahas. You will see that the kalasam is properly constituted, and usually the order of preference is Swarnam, gold, Rajatam, silver, Tamram, copper, Panchalokam, the 5 metal mixture, brass, or clay pot. A clay pot also is equally valid. Now, let me explain why we use kalasam and water for almost all rituals in Sanatana Dharma. This not only applies to the Rashi Mandala Puja, but for every puja that you can imagine. Now, when we format the kalasams for this puja or any puja, obviously the kalasams will be polished to a high consistency outside so that you can see them properly, that they are clean. I have seen places where they have been doing pujas for years, where you don't know what metal the kalasam is, because sometimes it is dirty green or patches of green on it. That's not the way you keep it, because it will not be efficient. And you have the Nadi Santanam, that means you have the strings going around it. Minimum 72 rounds have to be made, and it will make a total of 5,145 junctions, which is very important. It would resemble the winding or the arrangement of the coil in a dynamo. So when you are doing the puja, the end of the string goes into the kalasam, into the water. Now, what we do in the temple is we polish the inside of the kalasam, removing the oxidized layer. If it is a copper kalasam, for example, cupric oxide is removed. Silver kalasam, silver oxide is removed. And if you polish copper and leave it exposed to the atmosphere, within 24 hours, you will see a buildup of the sheen has now diminished. That means a layer of oxide has already formed. It tells you how quickly it reacts with the atmosphere and with the oxygen that is there. Now, in the water, in the kalasam, that water now needs to be magnetized. You need to produce magnetized water for the puja to be effective, for the person who is sponsoring it. So even if you book your puja through the internet with your name, Gotram, Nakshatram, Padam, that kalasam will be installed. And what does it contain? The water. It has 27 carefully chosen herbs and spices, one for each nakshatra. Each constellation has its own samit, it's called. If the text tells you flowers, you use the flowers. If it says bark, you powder the bark and use it. If it says root, you powder the root and use it. Similarly, all of them. So that kalavai, that mixture is called jala dravyam. After that, cloves are added, cardamoms are added, saffron is added. When you add the saffron, just don't go and buy whatever that is available. At least I am of the opinion that if you give the Devi something, it has got to be the best or nothing. It's all or nothing. The best saffron comes from Iran. Second best comes from Spain. All the others fall in behind that. And that saffron, if you add it, it enhances the ability of that water to absorb the mantras. Along with the saffron, raw edible camphor is powdered and placed inside. That is a preservative. People who have done this puja 5 years ago write to us or call us and tell us that that water that they received from the kalasam, they still have, and that it is still fresh. Beyond that, in 2010, we did the Punaruttarana Kumbhabhishekam for this temple. And in this Punaruttarana Kumbhabhishekam, the kalasams 1008 were used, and 11 days of continuous chanting. That water is still fresh after 12 years. So now you have placed this kalasa water inside the kalasam. The polished surface of the interior of the kalasam is now filled with an electrolyte. In plain scientific terms, it's an electrolyte. You have added something. Maybe it is a 2 normal solution or a 0.5 normal solution, whatever. It is an electrolyte. And what will happen? You see the migration of ions towards the center. Silver ions migrate into the water. And the chemicals present in the powder that we have used, the jaladravyam, all of those form a potent electrolyte, and a reaction known as oligodynamic effect will take place inside. At the end of the puja, the traditional way is to take the yajaman or yajamani, the person who sponsored the puja, outside the house and pour it on them. So if you are present in person at the temple on July 3rd, you can experience that. If you have sponsored the puja from far away, like Alberta or British Columbia, that Kalasa Amritam after the puja will be sent to you. Now, this is the main sponsorship in this puja. All of the kalasams, Digdevata kalasams, Chaturayana kalasams, the Chaturayana devatas, Digdevatas, Rasis, Navagrahas, Nakshatras, all of them are available for sponsorship. Now, why do we use clothes? When you take somebody outside after the puja is done and pour the water on them, naturally the water is not warm, it is cold. What is the reaction of the skin? Immediately it will contract and close all the pores. And your purpose is defeated. Nothing will go inside. Cloves contains something called eugenol, which is something that will deaden the nerves. Many people know if you have a toothache, if you bite into a clove, after some time it is gone because the nerves are dead. What it will do when you pour the water over it, it will deaden the nerves around the openings, the pores, and the pores will remain open and it will go straight inside. You see? So you know two things here. One is that adequate research has gone into this before this was planned. Like all the chemicals, all the things that are there, similar deep research has been done. So be the first to become a sponsor of the Kalasam, whether it is Nakshatram or Rasi or Navagraham or Chaturayana Devatas or Dig Devatas, any one of them, the mantras will be chanted there. Now, on the periphery of this mandalam, on all four sides, representing the Maha Sadushashti Kodi Yogini, 64 crore. One Kalasam, one Valampuri, that is a right-handed conch that you see pictured here. A couple will be placed. One is for the Yogini, the other one is for the Gana. And 64 Swasinis will be invited to do puja to them. As you can see them standing in a line and performing the puja. At the end of the puja, that kunkumam is for the person who did the puja. You can sponsor one or two of these or any number of these conches and you can take them home with you. So that is the other sponsorship that is available. Along with this, a Navagraha yantra you can sponsor. And that Navagraha yantra, you can take it in your home and leave it in your shrine room after it has been worshipped. This is unique to the temple. The artist is, I believe he's from Germany. We have taken his permission to use this, and these Navagraha yantras are made exclusively for Sri Vidya Temple Society. You can sponsor them. Then along with them, you can also sponsor a Navaratina Mala, that means the gemstones. They won't be AR quality. What is AR quality? Analytical reagent. That is the purest form you can get. These are maybe second or third tier gemstones. You can sponsor them and then wear them around your neck so that you mitigate the effects of the Navagrahas, and the Spatikamala sponsorship is available. Then, an interesting sponsorship that we discovered, salt is the abode of Mahalakshmi. Lakshmim Kshira Samutra Rajadanayam. Samudram is ocean. Kshira Samudram is Milky Ocean. Now, you will see the salt that we give for this sponsorship is from the Himalayan salts. Because 3 million years ago, the Himalayas were underwater, and that salt is deposited in various places. If you sponsor this, you will get 8 such containers containing salt and pepper representing Kubera and a Lakshmi Kubera coin. These have to be taken to your house and placed approximately in the 8 directions of the compass. Approximately. You will place them where 2 walls come to meet and leave the container open for 6 months. After 6 months, within that 6 months, you will find that there is considerable improvement in the financial situation of the people who are living in that house. After 6 months, the effect is now exhausted. You will eat the pepper and eat the salt. Then the next year you come back, you can get another batch. So this is the next sponsorship. Now there is also something this year we have introduced. It is called Kubera Padi. For the Jaffna Tamils, the word Kottu is most appropriate. And this contains a coin of Lakshmi Kubera and Nakshatras, rice mixed with kasturi manjal and a touch of ghee. You will leave this in your shrine room, performing your daily oblations. Once a month, take the rice, mix it with the rice that you're cooking in the house, and let everybody eat it and participate and enjoy the fruits of Mahalakshmi. Then wash the vessel, fill it back with akshatas, and leave it there in the shrine room for another month. So these are the sponsorships that are available for the sponsors who are going to do it. I think we have just 5 more minutes. We have 5 more minutes for questions. If there are any questions that have come through today, please look at the slide on the TV screen. These, if you hold your camera to that QR code, it will take you straight to that site so that you can do the sponsorships. Any questions?
Yes, Ayya. So the first question is, could you please explain the significance of the Navagraha names next to labeling of each nakshatra on the Rashi Mandala?
Place the question on the TV screen. Could you please explain the significance of the Navagraha names next to the labeling of each nakshatra on the Rashi Mandala? Significance of the Navagrahas. The Navagrahas are traversing through the Rashi Mandala at different speeds. For instance, Saneshwara, to make one circuit of the Navagraha Mandalas, of the Rashi Mandalas, will take 30 years. The earth to go through the 12 Rashi Mandalas will take 365 and 1/4 days. Right? Jupiter will take approximately 1.1 years to go through each Rashi. So like that, different ones will go at different speeds. And when they go at different speeds, 9 planets, 27 times 4. Each nakshatra has 4 feet, 4 padams, 108. They are going through 108 as they go around the Rashis, as they go around the Rashi Mandala. You can imagine 108, 9. Permutations and combinations are almost endless. So each of them will give you a different value and a different experience. Next question.
The next question is, when I sponsor the Shankha sponsorship, what can I do with the Shankha? Can I keep it in my shrine?
Be taken home, and with the head of the Shankha pointing to the north or to the east, you will fill it. That is your choice. You can fill it with milk every day, which means you have to wash the Shankam every day. Otherwise, pretty soon your shrine room will start to stink, and you have to clear and clean the Shankha properly before you refill it again. Or you can fill it with water and put in a couple of tulasi leaves or bilva leaves and leave it there for one whole day. Or you can fill the Shankam with akshatas like you do with the Kubera Padi and leave it there for 1 month or 1 week. Every Thursday, take it out, take the rice, cook it and eat it. Refill it, wash the Shankha properly and keep it. That's the way you keep the Shankha in your home. If you are somebody who does Sri Vidya, Sri Chakra Puja, that Shankha can be used as Samanya Argya Patram. Next question. The rice and the padi that we receive from the Kubera Padi sponsorship, I just told you. The rice you cook and eat after 1 month. And the padi, you refill it again with akshatas and wash it properly and polish it and put it back in the shrine room with the thing filled with akshatas and the Kubera Lakshmi coin that is provided. Next one. Last question.
The next question, I think you answered it during the class. Yeah. Why do you bathe with the Kalasa Tito?
With the Kalasa Tito, if you bathe, your skin is not a solid thing. It is not airtight or watertight. If you pour it, through the pores, it will enter your system. Through the skin, it will enter your system and then eventually your bloodstream, and eventually it will find its way into your brains, into the various ventricles, and therefore into the CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. That is why you bathe. Okay, thank you very much. We'll see you next week at the same time. In the meantime, I hope to see all of you in the temple. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ayya, for sharing more about the Rashi Mandala Puja and the effects of the planetary positions. Just a note to all the viewers that we will not have our session next week, as our annual Alankara Utsavam will be taking place from July 1st to July 3rd. And we'll be performing this Rashi Mandala Puja on Sunday, July 3rd. To reiterate, all sponsorship opportunities for the Rashi Mandala Puja can be found on the temple webpage, which is give.srividya.org. To access all content from prior sessions, please visit srividya.org/AYM lectures. At this time, we would hand it over to Vyasa Uncle to begin today's yoga session. Thank you.
Pranams to Haranaya and all the members and the devotees of the Sri Vidya Temple and Ashtanga Yoga Mandir and all those who are viewing this live stream. Today, we will do some practices to strengthen the spinal region because of various lifestyle modifications. Sometimes when you drive, when you work, even when you sleep, what happens is that spine undergoes various minute changes in its spinal cord level. And that leads into respiratory and cardiac concerns. To release the tension from the shoulders to the hip region. We can do this practice, this asana. It's called as the Mercury Asana. So you will come into this position. The first position, you can come into Vajrasana. Take the distance of the elbows between the two legs at knee level. Come into this position and then tuck the toes. And then from here, you will take a breathe out and breathe in up. And then breathe out down, breathe in up. And then, so when you go down, you need to pull the navel region in. So this is how the practice is done in the first stage. In case, if some of us are not able to be in that position, please have a chair. Keep your hands in this position over the chair, and you can do the same practices on the chair. So it can be like this. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then once you have completed the whole process, be in that position for 27 counts. And then slowly again downward, 27 counts. So this is for those who are finding it a little bit challenging to be in the Vajrasana. So this is the first sequence of practices. The second sequence of practices where you will cross the leg and then continue the practice. And then slowly you will relax in this position. So you can relax like this. You can relax like this. You can relax like this. Or you can relax like this. You can also relax based on the comfortability of yourself. So this sequence of asana, Mercury Asana, of the two stages, will help tremendously to maintain, preserve, and take care of your spinal cord. So thank you very much, and we'll complete the sessions with the Shanti. Om Mantra. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you to all.